All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So I've been really analyzing, uh, I guess you could say, when wearing a mask over the last, I don't know how long have we been wearing masks in the United States? Probably 9, 10 months. And I'm really trying to figure out, is it healthy or unhealthy? I've been having a lot of these discussions, and one of the things that got brought up to me, actually about a month ago, I work out with a close friend of mine. He's almost like my brother. He is basically my brother-in-law. And he came to work out, and he refused to wear a mask at the gym. And he's a beast anyways, and no one's going to say shit to him. I mean, this dude's a monster. And I was working out with him, and I noticed, I'm always working out with a mask now. I mean, if you're doing cardio, obviously you have to lower the mask. But what I realized after cardio or even working out a lot of times, say I'm lifting weights, I'll just use for an example. So I'm lifting the weights. If I have the mask on my face, I'm getting winded, short of breath pretty quickly. And then when I'm done, I'm breathing into this mask. It doesn't feel good. Or let's flip it around. I have the mask on, I'm lifting weights, and then when I got to catch my breath, I lower it, right? Then for a certain amount of time, then I have to put it right back on. So not really good either. Or on the other side of it, say I lower the mask, I'm lifting weights, right? Then when I'm done, then I put the mask on again because they don't want you to have the mask down the entire time. So it's this huge balancing act. So I was watching him, and I can just tell his breathing and the flow was just going really well. And my co-host was there with me, actually. At the same time, we were kind of pairing up. You may have heard him, Robert Beninati, my co-host on my podcast sometimes. And, he was getting short of breath. Now, I'm not saying either one of us can't get through the workout. Let's not get ridiculous. We've been doing this for months. But I know it has a profound effect on my workout. I'm going to tell you why. So as time went on, I'm still working out with the mask constantly in Florida and in Chicago, and I'm getting really aggravated. And, I don't know what's going on. My strength seems to be fluctuating lately. I'm either really strong or I'm kind of fatigued when working out. And I kept saying, what is this over the last 6 months? I knew I had a mask, but I'm not blaming the mask. I just didn't know what was going on. So last week, I got back from Chicago and I went to a gym, another gym that I usually don't go to. Same franchise. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus here. But I went to one of the gyms that I like to work out at. And for the most part, 70% of people did not have masks on. And I was in shock. And then probably the other 30% had masks, but they were mainly lowered the entire time. And I just said, you know what, I am going to work out without a mask this time. I am really burnt out. And I know a lot of people out there, you may be like, you're an asshole, you're the type of person who spreads it, whatever. You can hate my guts. I'll be very honest with you. I have tried my hardest as far as protecting others and everyone around me with the mask. I'm not saying the masks are horrible or that they shouldn't be worn. I'm not saying any of that. I was just at the point where I wanted a break from it. I wanted to have a workout where I could just breathe throughout the entire workout without having a problem or thinking about it or it affecting my workout. I definitely distance myself from anybody, but I'm going to tell you right now, I just had a talk on, I was just talking to my co-host actually about this, Robert Beninati, on a new platform called, it was Clubhouse. And we were talking about this very subject because I told him on my YouTube channel, one of the things I'm getting hit up the most is regarding working out in the gym during COVID. So I thought we could do, that subject. But I'm going to tell you something. My strength was off the chart. My breathing, my cardio, everything was entirely different. I literally felt like a different man working out, not having to put a mask over my mouth and nose during the workout, in between the workout, all these things. It was just an entirely different feeling. And what was crazy is the next day I was probably the most sore I'd been in probably 6 months because I was able to really focus in on what I was doing. Now that night, out of a fluke, I went and met one of my closest friends who works in a hospital. He's an RN, and this subject came up. And what I found quite interesting is when we were discussing this, he was even mentioning, a lot of times, we think the mask, again, is something that should be worn 24 hours a day now or wherever we go. And, because doctors, let's just say, wear them all the time, that they're supposed to be, great for us or great to prevent one another and all these things. But the reality is, he said, doctors, or him, including a nurse, even before COVID, they wore a mask a lot. Obviously, constantly, for the most part, when he's in the hospital. Or, a majority of the time, I should say. But those masks are not meant to be worn when working out or doing something physical. That's not what they're there to do. A doctor could sit and do a surgery, or a nurse can do his job. It's not like he's going to go work out with weights. It's not like he's doing cardio. That doesn't make sense. If you look at even a fireman, let's say, for instance, they put a mask on, they can breathe through the mask. Even if you're in the military of some sort, you don't put masks on to kind of prevent your breath or your breathing. You have a certain type of mask on that helps you breathe without passing out or without feeling fatigue. I mean, it kind of makes sense. And again, I'm going to say this. I'm not anti-mask. I'm not one of these guys on TV that are screaming. But I do think that we don't realize the effect the mask is having on us, or at least is having on me, especially when wanting to take care of my health in certain situations. So I just really wanted to do a podcast on this, because I just think a lot of times, I think a lot of things we're being told is a lot of bullshit. Especially now, I'd say, because of the political kind of realm, what's going on. I also think that, we got to figure things out that work kind of for everyone to a certain degree. I find it really crazy. I will say this too regarding fitness, wearing a mask again, that I'm in the state of Florida, and our gyms have been open for the most part, almost entirely, except maybe for a few weeks or a month. I don't remember. But our gyms open up. I think we were one of the first. And we've been able to work out. Not only that, we were one of the first to open our pools, jacuzzis, saunas. We've been doing classes. We've been doing a lot of things. You have other places, throughout the country that slowly but surely opened up as well. But then you have other places, I'll just use California from what I understand, not one gym is opened up in 8 months, and they have the highest percentage of COVID cases. Why is that happening? I have no idea. But one thing I don't like is, I'll just say, and here's the other thing too, if you look at stats compared to health, gyms, or a lot of things fitness related, it could be jiu-jitsu, it could be whatever, a lot of things that these guys are doing, the cases are pretty low. I'm not saying they never get cases, but they're very low. Why are we preventing people from maintaining their health, striving for better health, destroying businesses in the health industry? I don't understand that. And the other day, my friend, we ended up having some cigars, and he's a really incredible athlete. He does boxing, type of MMA stuff, jiu-jitsu too as well, and weight training. I don't know if he still does it, but he's been telling me his gym, I'm not going to say what gym it was, that they've been training without masks for months and months and months. And he hasn't heard of any cases. Now, again, that may be a fluke, maybe it isn't. But again, that's a very healthy environment. And there was no way you're going to be able to, obviously, if you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're boxing, mixed martial arts, all these things with a mask, it's almost impossible to do. And again, these are just things that I'm hearing about, that I see, that I live. And it's not, again, that I'm against masks, but I'm definitely pro-health for people. And I think we really need to start really figuring out if what we're doing is truly working, because I don't think it really is to a certain point. If we're going to keep allowing certain things to make us unhealthier, or kind of slow us down, or just kind of let people fall more and more into obesity, again, I just can't see us doing that as a country, or if that's fair, but I definitely wouldn't allow myself, and I don't want others to fall into that as well, because I do think a lot of what we're being told is bullshit. Even the way, and I'll just use to wrap this up, if you go to my gym, they don't even take my temperature, for instance, and I've discussed this on my YouTube videos. They don't take my temperatures in Florida. Some do, I think, South Florida. You clean up after yourself before and after you use equipment. You got to wear a mask, but like I said earlier, everything else is open. Everything's open. You just can't play basketball. I shouldn't say everything. Our gymnasium isn't open. You can still play racquetball. You could do all those things. Swim, jacuzzi, everything. I'll take Chicago when I go to those gyms. They take your temperature, but no one's really cleaning up before or after themselves. And you basically everything's closed with the exception of the weightlifting equipment area. The racquetball you can't do. The gymnasium's closed. They don't have classes, no cycling. Their pool is open, I should say. Their jacuzzi and saunas are closed as well. How does that work? Like, how does one have such a different kind of policy than the other? I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. Same franchise. Both of these are LA Fitness, just so you know. So, if you want to take temperatures, it makes sense. Nobody, for the most part, everyone coming in there, I mean, they may or may not be sick, but I mean, the odds are less. But my point being, again, like, what is all that about? And then you go to California, you can't even walk in a gym. And what was interesting? Even when Florida, their numbers, were at a certain point, and everybody kept blaming Florida. It was Florida because they opened up and all these things. I'm calling bullshit because our numbers slowly decreased, and a lot of other places are increasing. So how does that happen again? I don't know. I'm not here to tell any expert what to do, but I just think a lot of things we're being told are full of shit, especially regarding the mask situation at all times. And definitely when it comes to gyms or fitness centers, workout centers, I think there's a lot of bullshit being thrown around with anything actually being factual. That's my opinion. So take it or leave it. I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get a chance, check out my website, richcelenza.com. And if you like anything I'm saying, you can check out. I got over 1,000 videos, and a lot of them are regarding fitness, different types of workouts, and a lot of different gyms that I go through throughout North America. I think most of them would be closed, to be honest with you. But, yeah, bunch of different stuff on there. And if you want, what else do I got? I'm all over the place, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All right, take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.